Over the last few years, Aaron Terence Hughes has burst onto the scene, a maverick, opinionated, self-taught perfumer who ruffles some feathers and makes some stunning fragrances. In this video, I'm sharing my top 10 ATH. Stay tuned. I first met Aaron Terence Hughes back in 2019 when he appeared on this channel in a video talking about his new fragrances. At that point, his brand was largely unknown, but it wasn't that video that catapulted Aaron into the spotlight. At the same time, I recorded another video with Aaron, which was just intended to be filler content because I was going on a trip to New York and I wouldn't be able to upload for a few days, so it was just something to keep the channel ticking over whilst I was away. I called that video Perfumer Rates Cheapies. I have never seen a video get so many views so quickly on this channel. It gave this channel a great push forward. It gave Aaron and his brand a good push forward, and now he has many loyal fans of his fragrances. It just goes to show you don't need 1 million subs to launch a successful fragrance brand. Right, let me tell you what my favorite fragrances from Aaron are. And by the way, there are some fragrances that I absolutely love, like Maverick, Legend, Daddy, Raw Cherry, bangers. They're not even in this list. That is the level we're at here with ATH, when bangers aren't even getting into the top 10. The first one I'm going to talk about is a fragrance that, if you've ever been put off by oud, maybe you've never smelled it and you just hear what people say about it being animalic, barnyardy, funky, a little bit stinky, maybe even fecal, then you got to try this fragrance because I think it would change your mind, and that is oud. The way that Aaron uses oud in his fragrances is, I think, the secret sauce to some of his absolute best. There's both Thai and Burmese oud in this fragrance, and I think they're best described as woody and fruity. The quality and the depth of this oud, of this fragrance, is unreal. There's a hint of smokiness, there's some sweetness. What you get is a woody, fruity, smoky fragrance with amazing performance. Oud is exquisite. The way Aaron works with oud is, I think, masterful, and this fragrance is the perfect showcase for that. If you want to smell like a boss who's a bit of a bastard, then there's a fragrance you have to try. Boss Bastard. Totally unique, very creative. There's some citrus pop, honeyed tobacco, has a very alluring, sensual, musky quality. All blended very smoothly in a very wearable way. There's a chocolatey sweetness which gives this charming, nice guy kind of vibe, but then there's some sexy musks which bring a bit of bad boy attitude. A real head turner of a fragrance that just exudes confidence and control. If you're the type of person who likes to stand out with stylish clothing, then Boss Bastard would be the perfect accompaniment. Even if you're not a boss or a bastard, it's still a very enjoyable, statement-making, crowd-pleasing fragrance. Going fresher now with a bright, airy, exotic scent, Ozone. Lemon, lime and spearmint give an effervescent, energetic pop. Coconut rounds things out and adds to the exotic feel. At the heart of Ozone is a bright, airy, ozonic accord, which makes me think of white, sandy beaches, palm trees, warm breeze on your face, maybe drinking a cocktail. Conjures the same sort of imagery as Creed's Virgin Island water. Perfect for summer, or if you're going on a trip anywhere warm, Ozone brings fresh, feel-good vibes with decent performance. If you like to put the lime in your coconut and throw in a little sprig of spearmint, Ozone is definitely one to check out. Staying fresh, as Justin Copeland can attest to, is very important, and we're staying extremely fresh with Haze Extreme. Extremely bright and realistic citrus notes of orange and grapefruit. There's also a sprinkling of pink pepper, which gives everything an extra little punch. If you love citrus and you love citrus fragrances like Dolce & Gabbana's Light Blue Forever and Light Blue Italian Love, then definitely one to check out. Musks and ambergris bring some depth and texture, but it's the invigorating citrus that dominates this one. Compared to Haze, this one, as you'd expect, is a little more intense, a little more potent. If you like your summery fresh fragrances to be a little more airy, a little more on the subtle side, then Haze might be the fragrance for you. But if you want to get noticed with your invigorating citrus fragrance, you got to get extreme. This one is probably the most playful of all of Aaron's fragrances. If you're looking for a fun night out scent, it would be this one. Hard Candy Elixir. Candy is the perfect name for this because it has a sweet fruitiness that isn't so much a realistic fruitiness, it's more synthetic, like fruit candies. Definitely a very sweet and youthful smell, but this sweetness is underpinned and contrasted with oud and tonka, so it has lots of depth. The great thing about this fragrance is the combining of this sweet, youthful innocence with something a bit darker and a little more mischievous works really well. You've got to have a sweet tooth to enjoy this, but if you do, spray this on and get ready for some attention. If you love fragrance as much as I do, head over to my online store luxparfum.co.uk. You'll find my favourite brands plus brands you can't find anywhere else in the UK. Link is in the description. Of the current crop of reformulations in the brand, this one has changed quite a bit and has shot right into my top 5. Luna. Jammy rose, sweet vanilla and a mysterious incense, all bound up with a tantalising hint of leather. I liked Luna before, but now with the addition of leather in this reformulation, it brings a whole new level of attitude. Again, we've got that beautiful Thai oud, but in this one, it's dark Thai oud. I'm not sure what makes it darker, but I like it. One of the most powerful and potent of all of Aaron's work. You'll love this if you want to stand out, get noticed, make a statement. If you're on the fence about oud, even if you're on the fence about rose, you've got to try this because I think it might get you onto the right side of the fence, if you know what I'm saying. If you like bold, attention-grabbing fragrances, then please do try to get a sample of this. The quality is unbelievable. I'm pretty sure you're going to love it. Two of my favourite fragrances of all time are Dior Homme Intense and Dior Homme Parfum, and I would put this one right up there with them. Homme. This is not a copy of either of those fragrances. I'm not sure if Aaron used them as inspiration, but it definitely has the iris of those two Diors, but it's somehow richer, possibly due to its pairing with a gorgeous amber accord. Add this iris and amber to a sweet woody smell, which is like the sweet smell of wood in a sauna. You know when things really heat up? That's what really separates this from the Diors. Homme is a stunningly smooth, very warming, very sexy fragrance. Works as a daily driver or something a bit more special like an event or maybe even a date night. In my opinion, Homme is one of the best examples of this lipstick iris. Beautiful creation. You might know tobacco is my favourite note, and this fragrance is one of the best tobacco fragrances that I own. Probably top 3 tobacco. As well as a rich, sweet tobacco, there's also a slightly greener and drier tobacco leaf. Madagascar vanilla combines to give a slightly chocolatey smell. There's also oud listed as being in this. I don't particularly get anything animalic or even fruity, but perhaps it's just providing some depth and structure to the fragrance. And the depth here is incredible. It just feels like it could go on forever. Truly a stunning tobacco fragrance. If you love tobacco, please sample this because there's a high chance it could become your favorite. If you're a fan of Tom Ford's Noir de Noir, which I think is probably quite a lot of people, then imagine that on steroids and you get Onyx Extreme. Chocolate, raspberry, plum, rose, oak moss are just some of the notes here. The dominant smell though is a fruity chocolate, which is further intensified by this rich, fruity Thai oud. These chocolatey rose fragrances always make me think of Fry's chocolate Turkish delight. You know, the chocolate covered Turkish delight you get in the shiny purple wrappers. The way in which everything blends together in this fragrance is just perfection. I was wearing this recently when I went for a haircut, and Emma, who was cutting my hair, commented at the time and said how much she enjoyed it. This salon's not a small salon, but it was projecting quite a lot. I'd definitely say this is a very noticeable room filling fragrance because the owner of the salon actually came over as I was leaving and said, before you go, what fragrance are you wearing? Because I could smell it all the way over there. I absolutely love it. It's incredible. Give me the name. I want to buy it. So I did give her the name and then I left, and about half an hour later, I got a text from Emma saying, can you tell us the name? We've forgotten and we really want to get this fragrance. We really love it. So they adored Onyx Extreme. I love wearing this. If you ever want to wear a fragrance that is just gonna last basically until you have a shower, then Onyx Extreme is gonna do that. It is so potent, so you maybe don't wanna overspray this. You know what, the term lady killer gets bandied around a lot, but I definitely killed a couple of ladies that day. Just need to find a new hairdresser now. Number 1. Many of you have probably guessed what this is gonna be. How can I not put this at number 1? I helped create it. It's a fragrance tailor-made just for me, and Aaron and I decided to share it with the world. Smolder. Tobacco, frankincense, sweet, smoky woods. I am so thrilled about how this turned out. I wanted something unique, creative, but also very wearable, and I think Aaron nailed it, and I was so overwhelmed with the overwhelmingly positive response to Smolder. So many of you bought this and loved it. Unfortunately, we sold out pretty quick, so not everybody who perhaps wanted to try this got a chance to smell it, so sorry about that. Better to leave people wanting more, I think. One of the things I love most about Smolder is how different it is to any of Aaron's other creations. It's a completely different style because it's done more to my style rather than Aaron. So I love that it stands separately to the rest of the fragrances in the lineup. Still can't believe this got made. Dream come true. Obviously it's my favorite because it's so personal to me. I had a hand in creating it. If you haven't heard, the follow-up is coming soon, Smolder Elixir. If you want to grab it, you might have to be quick because it probably will be limited quantity again, although I'll have a word with Aaron and see if there's a possibility of maybe making a higher quantity this time, just so not as many people miss out. There are my 10 favourite Aaron Terence Hughes fragrances, but as I said at the beginning of this video, there are some fragrances that I love to wear that aren't even in this top 10. So if you haven't checked out Aaron's brand, please do so. I think he sells samples on his website, so do some sampling. And obviously not every fragrance is going to be for everyone, but the quality is so high. The oud that I've talked about is done so well. So sample the fragrances and see if there's one that really works for you. If you are a fan of Aaron's fragrances, if you own quite a few of them, which are your favourites? Which fragrances do you like the best and why? Do you think Aaron's fragrances are set apart from other brands, other styles? Is he doing something differently? Do they smell more natural? Let me know what you think about Aaron's fragrances. I would love to hear from you in the comments. All right, that's it. If you like this video, you know what to do by now. Subscribe if you haven't already. And if you do all that, I'll see you in the next one. Bye. How could I not put this at number 1? I helped create it. It was a fragrance tailor-made just for me. Alan Terence Hughes and I created this one together because he's a good lad, Alan. He's a good lad. I like that, Alan. Alan! That's when I see him in the store, I say, Alan! Oi, Alan! He just doesn't hear me. Partridge fans.